Welcome back to Kim Daly TV. A lot of people spend a lot of time exploring franchise opportunities, but then never really having enough confidence that they did adequate due diligence. And so they don't feel confident that they can move forward with the franchise. And what a waste of their time and franchisor's time and everybody's time. Wouldn't it be great to know that you did the proper due diligence, you asked the right questions to the right people, so that when it came time to conclude your process, you could confidently say yes to your dream? Yes. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 9 questions. So we're going to break this down to 3 questions that I think you need to ask yourself before you even start exploring franchises. 3 questions that I want you to ask to franchisors before you invest in their franchise. And then 3 questions that I want you to ask to existing franchisees in that particular franchise that you're looking at. Before we get into the video at hand, my name is Kim Daly. I'm a franchise consultant, and for the last 22 years, I have been helping people just like you explore franchise opportunities. So my job is to match opportunities to you by looking at your background, interests, skills, and life goals, and then using my 22 years of knowledge, relationships, and experiences in franchise to match the very best franchisors to you. And then to guide your due diligence process so that you know with confidence that you are asking the right questions and talking to the right people. So this is the service that I've been offering and can offer to you. If you stay to the end of the video, I will tell you how you could be my next candidate. Okay, so let's talk about the first 3 questions that I think you need to ask yourself before you invest in a franchise, but before you even start exploring franchise opportunities. These are questions that I want you to write out. I want you to get a notebook, and I want you to really do the homework before you start talking to franchisors or even thinking about the franchise opportunity that you think you're interested in. A little bit of self-reflection is going to go a long way in helping you to stay focused and on track for your due diligence process. So the first question that I want you to ask yourself and journal about is, why do you want to own a business? Do you know why this is so important? Because your goals and dreams are the gas in the vehicle that is the franchise business. So everybody thinks they're going to buy a franchise and that is the solution to everything that's going to ail them as a business owner. And that is emphatically untrue. I have 900 videos on this channel debunking that myth, okay? Franchising is not going to be the solution. It's the solution to some parts of business ownership. But the solution to everything that ails your business is the clarity of your goals and dreams. Because the more you really know why this is important to you, emphatically, then the deeper your desire will be to stay committed when your business gets a little bit harder than you thought it was going to be. If you are not persistent in what you're about to do, you cannot be successful. So sit down with yourself and journal to yourself, why do I want to own a franchise business? What are my goals? And get clear and specific, personally, professionally, and financially. Who do you want to be as a result of becoming a business owner? Where do you want your life to go? What are the material possessions that you want from your business because you're making money? But what are those quality of life goals? What are the intangibles that you want as a result of being a business owner? Like the pride that you have because you dared to do it, the personal satisfaction from stepping back and seeing, wow, look what I've created with my life. Those things are very good definitions of prosperity that cannot be downplayed in this equation. Even if you are a numbers guy watching this video, the clarity of your goals and dreams is what will drive this business forward. So don't skip the step. Please do it. The second question that I want you to ask yourself and then honestly answer is, how much money can I comfortably afford to invest? Now, this is a critical question. Many times people just see a business and they think, wow, I want to own that. and it is way out of their financial league, right? And so what I say to my candidates is, if you can't afford the business that you're dreaming of, so what? This is just the first investment or the next investment. It doesn't mean it has to be the last investment or the only investment. So lighten it up. Just invest in the business that you can comfortably afford. Comfortably afford means you are not putting everything you own at risk. You are not betting the farm. You cannot overextend yourself. You need to have a cushion of cash and some money in equity and property or something that gives you a feeling that, God forbid, you need more money than you thought you were going to need. You have a place to tap. Okay? So look at your financial picture. Do a net worth statement. Sit with your financial planner. Sit with your spouse. And figure out what the range of investment is that really feels like a comfortable investment for you. And then set out to explore franchises in that investment range. The number one reason that businesses fail in general is because people run out of money. Well, that can be completely avoided in the franchise equation because there's enough people to validate the numbers with. So if you start by having a clear picture of your financial status and you discipline yourself to explore opportunities within the parameters that are comfortable for you, then you're going to put yourself in a better position to not be overextended, to not be betting your farm, and to not put you in that statistic of people who failed simply because they ran out of money. The third question that I want you to ask yourself in preparation to exploring a franchise is, what kind of owner do I want to be? Do you want to be an owner-operator who's diving headfirst full-time into the business? Or are you more of an empire builder who wants to be the CEO, who works on the business, not in the business? So you're going to hire a general manager from day one. Maybe that means you can keep your full-time job. Maybe it doesn't. But the idea is that you're the CEO, you have a general manager who's in your business every day, and that allows you to be on the business, focused more on the strategy, the vision, the financials, the hiring, the leading of the company. This is a critical thing to consider because if you want to be a semi-absentee owner or that owner that's a CEO who works on and not in, not every franchise business supports that kind of owner. So wouldn't it be good to know what kind of owner you want to be and then to only focus your time on franchise opportunities that allow you to be the owner that you want to be versus trying to fit yourself into a business because you think your community needs that business or you think it would be fun to own that business or whatever your criteria is for thinking that you need a specific business. Let go of the specific business. The business is the vehicle that's driving you personally, professionally, and financially to a new place. So what I want you to do is define with clarity what this new place looks like. Who do I want to be and who do I want to become? And what kind of money do I have to put in and what kind of money do I want to make? I want you to do all of that setup work before you start talking to franchisors. Okay. So let's assume you've done the homework and now you've selected a couple of different brands that you're diving into to explore. Well, here are 3 questions that I want you to ask the franchisor. So the first question I want you to ask the franchisor before investing in their franchise is, Mr. Franchisor, what is your vision for this franchise? The reason this is an important question is because are they looking to build the next big American brand with 1,000 locations, or are they just looking to award 10 franchises a year and maybe one day get to 100 franchises? Neither scenario is good or bad, but they're different. And when the franchisor shares their culture by sharing their vision for growing, it's going to help you to align or to not align. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you've heard me say that when you invest in a franchise, ultimately you're buying people, not widgets. So when you start paying attention to who are the people, what are they trying to build? Why are they trying to build it? Well, it helps you get into their wavelength. It helps you get on their vibe And then to know, is this a vibe that I want to be on? Does this match who I want to be as an owner? Am I who they are looking for? Which in fact is the second question that I want you to ask the franchisor. So the second question I want you to ask is, Mr. Franchisor, who is your ideal franchisee avatar? What skills do they have? How much money do they have? Do they come from a special background? Do they have any special skills? Because each franchisor knows who they are looking for and who they believe will be the most successful with their model. So wouldn't it be good to know before you enter in and fall madly in love with the business that who they are looking for and that you match who they are looking for? Again, taking the emotion off of the widget. I have to own this business because I love to work out and this is the best workout I've ever done. Remove that from the equation. At the end of the day, that is so superficial to this entire investment decision. What's way more important is the caliber of the franchisor that you are partnering up next to. And you want to know that they care about you. And so ask them who their ideal candidate is. And maybe they will then turn around and say, tell us a little bit about you. In which case now you can open the dialogue to make sure that you are who they are looking for. The third question I want you to ask the franchisor is, how much money do you believe it's going to cost to open one of your locations? They have set forth parameters in their franchise disclosure document about that initial investment. Ask them to walk you through that. Now, a lot of really good franchisors will proactively lead you to their franchise disclosure document and their initial investment and into this financial conversation, but I'm not assuming that you're working with me and that you're working with a really good franchisor. So I'm giving you the question to ask in case you're out there trying to do it on your own. It's very important that you go through the franchise disclosure document, the item 7, which is the estimated initial investment, and that you understand where the money is going, when it's going out, and what from a low to a high, what they expect this investment to be. Because going back up to the question I ask you to ask yourself, how much money can I comfortably afford to put into the business? We need alignment. If you can comfortably afford $200,000 and they believe that their average all-in investment is $500,000, this is not a franchise for you. No matter how good the business is and how much you think it needs to come to your community, no matter how many people stand outside the front door every time they open one, it doesn't mean it's the right investment for you. Let go of the emotion and keep it factual. There will be plenty of time to sprinkle in that emotion. Okay. Now, this is not talking about bringing in funding or outside loans, which can be part of the process. But what I want you to know is that when you bring in an outside lender, you're going to delay your ROI. People always come back to me and say, Kim, I'm not making any money until 18 months or 2 years or whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because they're so heavily leveraged with loans, they're making money. It's just that their business partner, AKA the bank, gets paid back first. So if getting money out of your business early is part of what makes this whole thing go, because you need money to keep yourself going financially, you may not be able to afford a loan. You may have to self-fund this thing. Okay. Now, if you're working with me, I'm going to talk you all the way through this. I have financial resources. But again, this video is presupposing that you're out there in the Wild West all on your own. So you really have to understand what the average total investment is from the high to the low, and then be honest with yourself about your ability to comfortably afford this with a cushion. Am I clear? The number one reason franchise businesses or all businesses fail is because people run out of money. That should not happen here in the franchising equation. There's enough data and enough people for you to validate with. Moving on to the last 3 questions that I want you to ask before investing in a franchise. Now, these questions will be directed at the existing franchise owners inside the franchise that you're trying to fall in love with. Now, you may be thinking, so I'm going to talk to the other franchisees before I become a franchisee? And the answer to that question is 1,000% yes. The other franchisees know what you're trying to do because they did it in order to get where they are. inside franchising, we call this process of talking to franchisees validation. So you're going to validate the business model through the eyes and the opinions of the people who've already said yes to it. What an amazing idea. Those people have what you want. They once were you. Somehow they mustered the courage to say yes to this business, and now they're on the other side of the fence. So we're going to ask them to share their experiences with us. Now, validation with other franchisees is incredibly powerful. In fact, I have other videos about validation on this channel. I would refer you to those videos for more detailed information on how to fully validate. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to give you 3 questions that are open-ended questions that I think will tell you a lot about a specific franchise. So the first question I want you to ask the franchisee is, Mr. Franchisee, tell me why you decided to invest in a business and why did you pick this business? The reason I want you to ask this question first is the owner's point of attraction to the business is going to taint everything they say. So this question is going to help you understand their point of attraction to the model. For example, if you're asking a mechanic why he wanted to own a Meineke, but you didn't know he was a mechanic before he invested in Meineke, this would be a pretty big detail that he may not think to offer, but that may taint everything that he says. His knowledge of the business was at a much higher level than someone who came in who just loves cars, but knows nothing about running an automotive shop. The same thing could be true of a personal trainer who then decides to invest in a gym. So that the owner's point of attraction to the business coming in, it's not good or bad. It just is what it is. And I want you to know what it is before they tell you anything about their success or what they think is hard about the business or before they tell you anything else about their experience. Because it's going to help you put into proper context what they say and what you should hear. And that's the critical piece. Not all franchisees are created equal. We all come from our own background, with our own experiences, with our own expectations, with our own prejudices, with our own ability to learn. And all of these things impact our ability to ramp and make money in a business. So I don't want you running away because one person says something to you that makes you run away. I mean, I guess if that happens, you're not that strong in your resolve, and maybe this isn't the right thing for you anyway. But one person's opinion is one person's opinion. If everybody that you talk to shares that opinion, that's something a little bit different. But probably if you go out and you validate with 4, 6, maybe 8 franchisees in a system, you're going to get varied opinions. And I want you to pick the constant opinions among all of the people that you talk to, because that's more of the truth. The one-offs are just individual preferences or variances in how we interpret information or context by, what the owner was thinking or what prejudices they came in with. And all of those things may not mean anything to you when you become an owner. Okay? The second question that I want you to ask to existing franchisees before you invest in the franchise is, Mr. Franchisee, knowing what you know right now, would you make this same decision? Why or why not? This is the most open-ended question you could ever ask, and it is pure gold because these franchisees are not going to hold back, right? If they feel screwed over, they are going to lay it on when you ask this question. If they are happier than they could ever have imagined, they're going to share all of that with you. And so this is what you want to hear. Again, whatever they say, you don't have to make it good or bad. It just is what it is from their perspective. But how awesome would it be to know, knowing what they know now, would they even make this decision again? That's an awesome question. And the final question I want you to ask a franchisee is, knowing what you know now, if you could go back and give yourself advice before you started the business, what advice would you give yourself? This is another awesome question that could lead you down a million rabbit holes. But whatever they say, I'm going to guess it's going to be pure gold to you. Because what you're basically saying is, hey man, you know more than I know. What advice do you have for me, right? Like, I'm scared, I'm nervous. Give me some darn good advice. So these are the 9 questions that I think will help you get your investigation off the ground. But certainly there's so much more to know and so much more to learn. And you know what? You don't have to do this alone. Kim Daly has a business. It's a free service. I'm a franchise consultant. I have 22 years of experience helping thousands of people go down this path, teaching them how to conduct their due diligence with absolute competence, so that when it is time to make a yes or no decision, they can make that decision with absolute confidence. So it's competence in the due diligence and confidence in that final answer. That is my guarantee to you. If you are ready to become my next candidate, I want you to follow the link in the description below this video right now. Don't hesitate. Don't think about it. Reach out. Someone from my team will reach out to you right away, and we will get you in process. I can't wait to meet you. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you in the next video.